Hi guys, welcome to part 1 of my 2023 Christmas Village full tutorial series, and from this spot, as the tradition is asking for. Finally, the first weekend of July is here and I can start work once again on a totally new, fresh project. But first of all, let me ask for your forgiveness because I was completely absent from the channel during the past 2 months, but for a good reason. There is always a good reason. Maybe you know that in the first days of the spring in Italy and also in many other European countries we had a terrible water flood caused by the craziest weather ever, and that flood affected many people and also many jobs, included the ones from our company. So we had to spend between 15 and 18 hours a day reinventing, re-engineering our working processes. But fortunately now all that period is over and we had the chance to live in Turin, northern Italy, that was not that affected by the flood as many other Italian regions where the damage, the ravaging was unbearable. Let's forget about that. Let's talk about the new project. Where will I start from? Obviously, I will need to start from what I told you during the only 2023 update I posted a few months ago. My plywood, some styrofoam, and then more than half of the surface covered by water. Not real water. I don't want to have to do nothing with water, not entirely true, but simulated water with also a new technique other than using my crystal clear silicone coke I use normally. I am crazy. I am mad, I know. I want to incorporate the tradition as I love Lemax products. I love Caddington collection from Lemax, also the figurines, I love them. But I don't want to follow the line. I don't want to go straight ahead with what it is imposed to me. I want also to integrate something new, something different, something never seen before, because I'm like that. It's in my nature. Last season it was the steampunk and the novelist and the section dedicated to the novelist, to the Victorian era novelist. This season, half of the surface occupied by water. Then also 2 other main sections dedicated to 2 main aspects of the Victorian era society, of the Victorian era way of living. But I will keep the secret from now on. This is for next month or August, I think August or September. Let's talk about the present. Many other techniques and also, let's continue, the water. Obviously, I'm not that crazy to just have half of the plywood, half of the section occupied by the water that I don't know how to use, and I'm always crying in search for more space. So on top of the water, on the main side, on the front view, you will have, I will add, a Viking fishing village. Be calm. I know Vikings are around 600 to 700 years before Victorian era. I'm talking about Viking fishing village modernized or developed towards Victorian era, as if English and no, sorry, not English. I don't want to be rude. As imagine that Victorian imperialism would have conquered Norway, where Vikings, Norway or Sweden, where Vikings were. So some Victorian buildings on some Viking fishing village, or maybe a little town in New England in the USA, or along the English coast, populated by colonies of Vikings. What will be the mix of those two civilizations, of those two way of lives? Very community, the Vikings, very isolated, very don't bother me, don't disturb me. I want you to respect my privacy, as the English Victorian times imposed. Sorry, I know I'm sometimes rude. Pardon me. Excusez-moi. I was saying, so integrating that, but Vikings villages were built entirely with wood, too dark. So I also decided to go with some buildings very, very colorful, such as many cities in the world are actually very colorful, like La Havana in Cuba, like many little cities along the Italian coast in the south of the coast. I let you Google for that. Colorful cities around the world, or maybe colored cities around the world near the water. It's like if I wanted to copy Venice or Amsterdam. No, far from that. Sorry, my itchy nose is affecting me. I want to go crazy in some ways. And by the way, guys, just remember that I can always switch between this other camera here, guys. Hi, guys. And this season, I have 4K camera there and 4K camera down there. So you may decide to watch this video in Full HD or even in 4K. But in this case, you will see a lot better from this higher level. And I will try to explain to you right now while I introduce it right now, that camera. Because I don't want to have buildings on top of the water. I don't want to have people flooded by the water. Sorry, I'm a terrible person right now. But I want to have people living easily on top of the water. I had to develop, I had to model, and by the way, I modeled the village and I modeled also the villagers, because on the market there isn't a fishing village, there isn't fishing buildings, fishing village buildings. I modeled 9 new type of buildings that are similar in some ways but very different, each one with a different color. But I needed those buildings to be placed on something that prevented them to be submerged by water. So I developed a system of platform that is modular, like this one, guys. Maybe I will show them. And I have different types. Obviously, this is 3D printed, not made from styrofoam. And you can see that these are just come out from the 3D printer some hours ago. These take, with standard 3D printer, standard filament 3D printer nowadays, 24 hours to print just this single piece. This between 15 and 18 hours, and a day for these two of them on the platform, on the bed, on the 3D printer bed. So imagine all the buildings I printed. I spent thousands of hours 3D printing. That's why my intention is to upgrade my 3D printer, but I'm talking too much. Let me place those. Oh, sorry, the camera. This camera also failed once again. Okay, sorry guys, a little defiance of the camera, not that one, but this one, and I had to restart the camera. So I was saying some different type of platforms, like those ones. Maybe I will go ahead and add also those ones, like that, and like that. And those are modular platforms, okay? Plastic, yes, but green plastic, I just want to remember you that this is PLA, so it is polylactic acid. Green plastic because it is made from corn, so I'm not polluting the world, the planet. Those are modular, guys. You can have them placed like that, or like that, or maybe you can go like that, and then change with this one, and then go right there. Those curved ones are 90 degrees. You can turn around 90 degrees. You can also make some circles, having 4 of them, but like that, and you can go one way and then on the other, and then here you can also add some other section like that. This point of view is interesting. You can see everything from that point of view. Let me check. Yes, it is a good point of view. So this is modular. I don't know how I will place them. I will need to think about it and to place them and to decide what I will be doing with them. On top of the squared ones will be placed the buildings and other things also. So I will show you them in some minutes when I will talk about the buildings, but they have been not that difficult to design, to model, and then but very long to 3D print. Modular with lives, very singular type of doing that. And then I will close this little long intro by talking about something I always wanted to add to my villages, but never had the chance to do, simply because this fact. I love hot air balloons. If I remember correctly, the only time I used one was in 2018, I think, with a little Santa's on hot air balloon pending from the ceiling, because I ate, and I repeat, I ate how Lemax and other producers represent the hot air balloons. A base with a motor, on top of the base a shaft with a hook attached to the hook, the hot air balloons, and when we switch on the motor, the balloon starts rotating all around, all around, all around, all around. No, guys, that's not realistic. That's not even anachronistic. That's not possible. Hot air balloons are not planes, are not helicopters, are not dirigibles, are hot air balloons. They can go up with hot air. Then if the air gets cold, it will goes down. And then it's the wind that decides where the balloon will go. You can understand why I ate those. And Lemax will hate me for saying that, but I ate. It's not possible. It's a nonsense. A hot air balloon going in a circle. Nowadays, hot air balloons take off, and then the rallies with other, they will go around the world, wherever the wind will take them. And in Victorian era, hot air balloons were were shown as something that can goes up. Then they had a link to the ground, and the hot air balloon will be pulled down towards the ground once again. Simply up and down, not even flying, transported by the wind that would have caused terrible wars with an hot air balloon from England landing on German soil. No. And I finally found a way to incorporate hot air balloons, not having just them on the ground, but at different levels. And it is a simple way of doing that. And I don't know why I haven't thought about it. Maybe because I was completely disgusted, by the way they have been represented until now. Obviously, I was forgetting my companion that I have shown you already. From now on, let's say this is Greta with his little companion, with his little rat. That will be my companion for this 2023 and will be present in all my videos. So, enough. I voluntarily decided not to tell you everything because, you know, I love to surprise you in some ways. Gods? No. A giant god? Yes. Let's go. Let's have some styrofoam on top of the plywood, and then my glasses, obviously. The dimensions, guys, I was almost forgetting the dimension. Generally, my dimensions are 180 centimeters by 180 centimeters. This time, instead of crying and asking for some more space, I went directly, sorry for the noise, with 270 centimeters up there. 270 centimeters is equivalent to 105, 106 inches or almost 9 feet. And this is 200 centimeters. Oops, noise. 200 centimeters is 2 meters. 200 centimeters, obviously it is 2 meters, but also 78 inches or 6.6 feet. Okay, plywood. Starting from now on, I will switch on my styrofoam cutting machine. I will remove everything. Then I will start placing some styrofoam, 100 centimeters by 50 centimeters by 4 centimeters in 8. Okay, good. It's time to place some styrofoam. Good. I will stop here with the styrofoam because right now I don't know what I will be doing in the back there. I know that I want to go with this. Let me mark 45 centimeters from that other side that you may see with this other camera here. I will mark 45 centimeters in here. My glasses. .45 centimeters in here. And from this other corner here, I will mark 100 centimeters. 100 centimeters. It's up here. .100 centimeters is like having the same thing in here. Okay, now I will get some rope, and by the way guys, rope will be one of the most present props this season. I will use them multiple times, but in this case it will help me getting something different. I want to make the border between the water and let's say the continent. Okay, I will use a technique used by many people in the history, builders, etc. Good guys, I think this will be the border between the water here. Everything will be flooded, everything will be under the water here, and everything is up that line will be not water, will be terrain, will be rocks, will be something else. Okay, so it's more than half the surface right now. Oops, too many wires on the floor. And I think this will be a good starting point. Okay, I will start from there. I wanted that profile not that linear, very irregular, because here near the coast, near the terrain and near the water, you will have, and I'll be back, you will have this little monster here. You have already seen it. It's the ferry wheel I restored in February, March, I don't remember. And for now I will place it in the water, like that. Okay, because I don't know yet what will be. In the corner there, I will use guys, and let me go here, the tallest buildings. That's why I modeled different buildings with different heights. The tallest building as a background. Here I will have my standard background, but on the sides I've always lacked backgrounds. And the tallest buildings will help me simulate a background. So here, the same thing, in this corner I will have the tallest fishing village buildings, okay? If you remember also what I've told you during the only update, here I want a lighthouse. But what kind of lighthouse? Generally, I hate another aspect from Lemax is that all the lighthouses are wharf lighthouses, are very, very short compared to the building. Normally a lighthouse must have a very high, must be very, very tall, must be at least double the height of a building, because it needs to be seen from the distance, from the sea, from everywhere. Okay? And I hate Lemax. Lemax do the... okay, stop saying you hate. I am not entirely of the same view with Lemax, because what they do lighthouses only 3 to 4 centimeters taller than buildings. And it's not that way that works. They do that for production necessities and for packaging necessity, for not having too much difference between buildings. But my lighthouse is tall, guys. Is very, very, very tall. Guys, this is my lighthouse. Okay, very tall. It is 36 centimeters, I think. 35, 36 centimeters. Keep in mind that generally buildings from Lemax and other Christmas village builder are between 20 and 25 centimeters. 20 and 25. This is 36 centimeters. And as everything I've modeled, this is modulable, because you need the space to store it. And this is divided 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus the door that is still missing pieces. I will show you in details when I will talk about the light, because this lighthouse lack the light. It's not right now a lighthouse. But all the pieces fit together. They have been 3D printed. Obviously, a 3D printer this tall would be very, very, very expensive. And this will go like that, in that position. I know it's a very tall building. That's why I haven't planned anything for this section here, because I know that this is more than 2 times my 12 centimeters. It's 3 times 12 centimeters. 36 centimeters is like having the height of 3 of my levels, guys. Okay, 3 of my levels here, 36 centimeters. That's why I haven't planned anything for now on. I needed to go from that point, maybe having nothing here behind the lighthouse and getting something in the corners. From this angle here, guys, from this angle here, you may have noticed that it isn't symmetrical. It's lacking something there. And it is true that it is lacking something there. So for now on, I will place it like that. Because also maybe I will modify also the perimeter of the coast there. Because a lighthouse without someone who operates the lighthouse is nothing, but this someone needs a house to live in. So I will add, once it will be done, because I don't have it yet, an house here, maybe next week, if I sleep very, 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 very few hours. Lighthouse there. You can see that there is no light inside. I want this to be a real lighthouse. And I must provide a way of having a real light. I don't want something like a light always on. I want a real lighthouse effect. And I will explain in some minutes how it works motor of Lighthouse, I will not use them. I will use simply electronics, basic 101 electronics. Before getting into details, let me have a platform there. And then I will not reveal anything more. And a building. And guys, I'm revealing too much for this part one. This is the first building that will go here. And I've modeled everything modulable, as I said. This is divided in 3 pieces. Every single one of the buildings is modeled in order to be able to sit on top of a single squared platform. Okay, guys? Let me just have this right there. Then you just need to simply follow everything. And this one too is lacking lights. And I will explain everything. And this is, obviously, I've painted it that way. So here you can add another platform or something like that, or another squared platform, or maybe a passage like that, and so on, guys. I don't know, I repeat, I don't know. I haven't planned anything, okay, guys? Like that. And then something else, like, let's go deeper into the ocean. Okay, like that. And I don't know if I want to place it, but this is a small building. It's not a very tall building, guys, okay? So this will not be in front of anything. I have modeled this in 1, 2, 3 sections. I have another building in 3 sections, then 4, then 5, then 6 sections, taller than the Lighthouse, if placed on top of something. Painted this way, simply because it is wood painted and aged, and I will explain it once I will get in front of the camera and have the light inside, because both of them lack the lights. And inside there is some space. You have some stairs, and you have another room there. But this is useful. Obviously, I still don't have the door, but somewhere here I have all the doors. This is building H. So let me check. Okay, this is H. So I will simply need to add the door there. And it is like that, and then secure it with some stuff, etc. And this is usable. This has the same scale of Lemax buildings, and with doors a little shorter than humans. And let me use like this. Maybe you can see that I can also place figurines on top of the building like that, or also under the building, but not too close, because as always the doors are shorter than figurines, and this is standard. I hope you can see from the distance, and even from that camera, that Greta there can be placed on top of the balcony like that. This is usable, but both lack lights, and I will go with the lights, and then I will stop my part one there, because it is the first time that I'm revealing that much, or that I'm working. So yes, intensive use of a 3D printer, in this case filament printer for the buildings, and a resin printer, SLA, for the figurines, because of the figurines, for the details, for the precision, I always print them with resin printer, but the buildings can be used in this way with simply a filament 3D printer. And so on. This will be a section very populated with ships, also in plain middle of the water and other things. I still needed to figure out a wharf, some docks, okay? I don't know, a very long way to complete some task. I've 3D printed a lot, but it's not there. Obviously, I also missed that this needs to be painted. Lights will be placed inside, maybe 2 lights, one for this level and one for the level inside. And then I still needed to paint. This has been done very quickly, at least for my standards. The chimney there is pure copper, okay, painted in copper, and some not bricks for the chimney, but some stones for the, and these, as it is Viking, some Viking symbols there. And this is colored. This is the first building. They are not all pale blue like this one, but they have different, except they have all different colors except for the lighthouse, that it is so ancient, so old, that it is completely gray with some red and other colors, as I will show you in some minutes. Okay. So now I think it is all for this section here, for these first few minutes, at least for me, few minutes, for you some long minutes. And before getting back to this room here, let's go and talk about the lights for the house, for the building, and for the lighthouse. See you in a moment. Good, guys, here we go once again with this position here, with this working bench here. Here I have the lighthouse that need a light, otherwise it is just a very tall house, a very tall cylindrical house. I don't know if you have noticed, but here I've started with a bigger diameter for the base, then I'm going up. Maybe I will switch with the black one, as you may see better in the black one, like that, okay? So even this new camera here is 4K, okay? And let's work there. What I modeled there, and maybe I will decompose each and single one of the pieces and let you see, especially the colors there of everything, okay? Especially the colors. I have some gray, white, green, red and brown, everything as always with the darkest colors before the white that is everywhere white. Inside I've just used some gray because it's not very important what it is inside here, and I will place also the door when I will be finished. I need a light here inside, and each and single piece has a different diameter except the last two pieces that have the same diameter. From this point on they have all the same diameter instead of having big, and it's normal to have a lighthouse from that period shaped like this, a big base and then narrow cylinder on top to maintain very stable. A little two steps here, then stairs that go around the circular, around everything like that, and then top of everything they need to be placed like like that, okay? And then last one is this one like that, and then the top that I painted a pure iridescent silver even inside because it needed to reflect the light. Okay, very tall, 36 centimeters, I want it. In the last section here, inside there, let me approach the camera, inside, oops, sorry for the camera, inside there, I will place the light. How a lighthouse works? They have a little cylinder that is connected to a motor that makes it rotate, and it covers a light that is inside, letting in one opening seeing the light. In reality there are two openings, and when the light faces the openings it projects the lights, and so the light ray will be propagated in this direction or the other direction when it turns. Obviously this is too small to have a motor. I thought about adding a motor, but inside here I would have meant having no stairs at all inside and have a big motor there, and then a longer shaft, because in here I haven't the place to have the motor and everything else inside and having a good looking aspect. So what will I need? I need a different way of having a lighthouse effect with some basic components, and let me introduce some basic components. Don't be scared, this is 101 electronics. First of all, LED. This is a new version LED I've never used. This is 30,000 to 40,000 lumen or candle lights with a ray of light of 30 degrees. Normally I use LEDs with 15 degrees. What this means? When an LED, in this case the bulb, it is nothing else than circular, okay, from the top is that, and from the side you can see it like that. When the light is emitted from the LED that is inside an electroluminescent diode, the light will be projected with an angle of, this is exaggerated, 15 degrees. So the light is visible if you have the eyes in this range here, in those 15. Maybe you aren't seeing anything, but I can approach. If it is in the range, the eye is here in the range of these 15 degrees, you will see the light. Otherwise, you will also see the light, but it's not the ray of the light ray. It is a perception of the light. Instead, I will use this LED. I will go bigger, that doesn't have 15, but has, this is so much exaggerate because this is almost 90 degrees, but to let you understand, 30 degrees of ray of light. Almost 90, yeah, okay, but for pure purpose, let's see this. So double the ray of light in order to have the light seen from a wide, larger angle. So I will use these new that are very bright, very white. Let me show you in order very quickly. I don't want to damage the camera, but those LEDs there are very, very bright. I don't know if I can approach, but the camera lens will prevent damage to the lens, but they are very, very, very bright, okay? So I will use one LED like that. Then I will use two resistors. I will use a 33K kilo ohm resistor and a 470. This is, what it is this? It's not marked. No, this is 68K. This is 470 ohm. This is 33 kilo ohm. This is 470 ohm. Those are resistor 1/4 of a watt of power, okay? Of power. Then I will use for experimenting those two different resistor with different values. Then I will use, don't be scared, a chip, an old age chip. This is not modern because this is very old chip, 90 to 20. Nowadays they are too big to be used, but this is a standard common EC555 integrated circuit, a chip 555. What it is a timer. So you can manage that if I get here like that, always on. If I can manage to have a timer to regulate the light, maybe I can get it flashing at an interval, okay? At some steps. EC, and I will explain very quickly an EC. Then I will have to use a transistor, okay? This is a transistor that is called BC, before Christ, no, but BC 547 transistor. It was used in early age electronics to control the frequency of a wave of electricity or of something else. And you can find it inside the earliest radio, a transistor radio, in order to have the wave of the current of the electricity controlled by a transistor. Then a couple of wires in this case, like these, but just for experimenting then, and then a capacitor. A capacitor. These are 100 microfarad, 16 volts. Let me do a quick explanation. A capacitor, it stores the electricity and it releases electricity. So it's like having it charging, discharging, charging, discharging. Instead of having the electricity going straight towards the LED, it passes through the capacitor that will discharge and then recharge, discharge and then recharge. With the help of the EC555, the timer, I will get it to be controlled by intervals of time. And then the wave will be controlled by this little transistor here. Capacitor resistors instead is for limiting the current, the electricity inside the circuit. The higher the resistor, the less electricity will pass through. Very simply explained. Then the EC555. Maybe I will approach the camera and let you see that the EC555 has very difficult 8 legs and a little hole, a little groove, a little half circular groove from one side. I will explain it in a moment. Let me draw it like this. It's like having this and then 8 legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay? So, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And these differentiate one side from the other in order to not get confused. Here is the leg that will be connected to the power. This is the leg that will discharge the power. This is a leg called threshold. Threshold, let me write it like that. And that is the pin or the leg that controls the voltage. Pin number 1, it is ground. So positive and negative will be 1 and 8. 2 is the trigger. 3 is the output. And the 4 is the reset. It works like a timer, like a circle. You need power in, power out, something that will trigger the circuit. Then this is the electricity out, and this is the reset. Each time current goes or electricity goes to pin or leg number 4, it will reset the counter. Okay, this is a timer, guys. Timer. Okay, and these are just the control of the voltage, the threshold, and the discharge in order to discharge everything if it needed to discharge. Very simply explained. Instead, the transistor, it has a strange shape. It's not a cylinder, but from the top you can see that it has this shape. No, let's do bigger. From the top it has this shape here. Then you have 3 legs like that. Okay? This is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3. And each and single one has its proper purpose. The 1, it is the collector. The 2, it is the base. And the 3, it is the emitter. So these two close the circuit, collector inside, emitter outside. It regulates the wave because electricity is a wave, and instead of having something that goes everywhere, it regulates, it stabilizes the wave. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Collector, base, and emitter. Transistor, if you want, you can Google for it and everything else. Let me do a quick circuit with my breadboard. It is my way to test the circuit. I need the other glasses. Sorry guys, but I will need the other glasses. Okay. Let me start by placing the EC555 with the little groove there from the left. And let me place it one side and the other side. Let me just remember that if we have a big groove there, it means that this side here is isolated from this side here. Let me approach the camera a little more. So when you have a breadboard and I placed the circuit there, this big groove means that all the circuits from this side here are isolated from the other, from the upper side there. And each single hole that is in this direction directly connected to this pin here, that means that they are all connected. 1 and 2, those two pins, they are not connected, but everything is in this line vertical, are connected between them, between this pin here. But this pin there, the pin number 8, is not connected to the pin number 1 because you have the groove there. It is to simulate the circuit. So okay, let me connect with a simple wire. Pin number 8 to pin number 4. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe with some other tool. No, this one. So pin number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So pin number 1, the pin number 4 to pin number 8. 8 is here. 4 is here. Those two pins are now connected because I've bridged pin number 1, pin number 8 to pin number 4. Bridged. Then let me do the same bridge with 2 and 6. 2 is here and 6 is there. Five, 6. Bridged also, okay? 4 to 8, 6 to 2. Okay? 6 to 2. I've bridged. No, I need a background. Like that. Okay, let me go on focus. Okay, on focus. So 2 to 6, 4 to 8. And they are connected. Now, I will get a 33 kilo ohm resistor. Kilo ohm resistor. And I will connect between the 3 and the 6. 6 is here. And the 3 is there. Okay, 3 and 6. So I went from 3 and 6. Where it is? There. I went from 3 to 6. Okay, bridged them. 3 to 6 with the 33 kilo ohm resistor. Then the transistor, I will open it like that and then use the legs like that. I will connect the base, that is the central pin, to 2 and the connector to 4. Where I put it is here. Is like having the schema like this one, putting that. So the base is 2 and the collector is 1. So the base, the central with 2 and the collector with 4. Two and 4. And this one, I will place it somewhere else where it doesn't do anything. It is outside of the 8 pins of the emitter. Is the collector is on 4, the base is on 2, and then the emitter is way away from the chip. Okay, now let's have the LED, and let's connect the negative with pin number 1, and an LED has a long and a short leg, a long and a short pin. The long is positive, the short is negative. So let's connect the 1 to pin number 1 to the pin number 1 to the negative, and the positive to the emitter, like that. And then let's go with the power and let's test what we have here. So here I have positive is green, negative is white. Positive is green, negative is white. Let's go this way. The positive with the pin number 8, negative with the pin number 1, like that. And then let's see what we get here with some AC adapter. Let's have here the power. Okay, I don't know if you can see, but pure white LED, bright, and the AC adapter is powered at 9 volts. LED works at 3 volts. This is powered by 9 volts, so I need a resistor. Okay, very disturbing light. Oof, switch off. It is constantly on. Yoo-hoo, I have lights! Like switching on and off something. No, I want an effect. I want something that can flash, okay, and simulate a light from a lighthouse. So let's get everything like it is, except that I will remove the LED and I will take a resistor, a 470 ohm resistor, like this one. Okay, and I will get from negative connected to pin number 1, like that, positive a little far away, then with the 470 I will go from this point here to the emitter. So I added between the emitter and the LED another resistor, 470 ohm. The last component I need to use is the capacitor that has a positive and a negative. Okay, let's connect the positive to the 2 and the negative to the 1, like that. positive to 2 and negative to 1. And this is 100 microfarad. Let's get some electricity inside. Let's take a look at the LED. Okay, off, on. Then it stays on, then it fades down, then it fades on. Hope you can see it. I will approach the camera. The fade effect I wanted, it's now present. On, then it will fade out. Then it is once again on. Then it is once again off. And so on. Okay? It will fade in and fade out. This is the effect I want. Okay guys, so I had to change multiple batteries, so let's recap everything because the microphone was completely out of his mind. Okay, so let me check if it works. Okay, it works. It's fading in, it's fading out as the right. Good. Now here I am missing the door that I have here, and I have painted in brown and with some gold also. Okay, brown and gold like that, inside and outside. Here are some holes there, and I will use a simple pin to pin this from the inside. Voila. Then a pin right there. I needed to change my glasses and to force down the pin. Good. And if it is done well, the door should also close, open and close like it is doing right now. Okay, reassemble everything. Let's check. Yes, you can see that LED is fading in and fading out. Good. The cap here, and then you will see it in the final recap of part 1, first recap of the season. Okay, good. Switch off. Let's have a little cleaning and let's talk about the building, the house, the blue building. If I'm correct, it is the H building. Let me show you a little closer to the camera this time. Okay, this is how I intend my building. I painted everything brown, this color here, and then some almost a dry brush, pale blue, almost pale blue, in order to have wood on the back and then the blue layer on top, simulating that it is old building. It has been painted maybe 22 years ago, and it's been damaged by the seaside, because everyone knows that seaside damage every painting in the world. Okay, my problem here are multiples. Okay, first of all, I don't have lights inside. Second, I forgot to paint this part here in pale blue, because it is visible from the down there. It is visible. You can see that it is visible. I must find a way to add some lights inside, because otherwise I will have no light at all inside my buildings. So this is one floor, one level, and then this is the second level. Okay, and obviously I am missing the door here. I am missing the door also. First and second level. Maybe I can put a light inside the roof and it will project light towards the down. Okay, That's the bottom. And inside here, I must find another solution in a corner far from the windows. I've modeled also these little guys here. That you must intend them like that, huh? On the wall. I wasn't satisfied of the wall torches I modeled last season. Okay. This one is much more suited for what I have in mind, and it is nothing more than some cylinders and some cones modeled very quickly and painted. They gave this effect here, guys. Okay, brown and then some iridescent silver as the metal around the torch to maintain together all the wood of the torches. But these wall torches here are perfect for the candle lights. You remember those candle lights that are flickering, okay? And I've tried to model the candle, the wall torch, in order to have also the cap there fitting inside. So I will not have to use some hot glue as last season to have it wrapped around as the flame. Let's open this little thing here. I always forgot my other glasses. I'm almost blind when I'm working on such small distance. Too many ears in front of a monitor, of a screen, of a computer screen, guys. Too many ears. Let's remove the battery. Okay, and then let's open the case like I always do. And let's remove the LED, the flickering LED. Okay. The shortest one is the positive one. And for the first level here, I must use it like that, and then on top of it, the cap there like that. And I must place it somewhere. Normally I should place it on top here at this level, but I have another level, so I will place it a little too close to the floor, but it's the only solution, I think. Okay, and then I will need to find a way to have, maybe I can place it under there, or because I must also have the wires coming out from somewhere. Okay, I must have the wires coming out from somewhere. I don't know right now from where I will be getting them. This, no, this is the front, this is the back. Okay, I need 3 volts, so let's go this way, positive and negative. Positive from the outside, and the negative. Let's have this closed. Those are simply the T-connector I use for my street lamps. You have seen me using them multiple times. And to there. Okay. They work in parallel, so I can join them. They can also work in series, but then I will have to multiply each time the power by 2, by 3, by 4. If the volts are 3 for each LED, 2 LED there, so I will need to use 6 volts to power up this. But instead I will use simply one single wire to do the job. Okay, here I have one of the wire I use for my street lamps. I need to switch the voltage here to 3 volts. Okay, switch it to 3 volts. Good. And before connecting the 3 volts here, good, I must connect. Blue is positive, so positive is outside, and the negative is inside. So negative and positive. Closed. And now if I connect the LED, the LED, I should have inside some flickering LEDs light on both levels. Yes. I don't know if you can see them, but you have inside the flickering LEDs, and then also on the first level you have there, on the first level there, and on the second level there. Flickering LEDs. Okay, so I've lighted also this building. And the first building, the blue building, is done, guys. Let's go for a final recap. First, final recap of this 2023 season. I'm using this angle because I think it is the best way to show you what will happen all along this coast, all along the season. I know right now there isn't too much on the styrofoam, but it's a starting point. And compared to other seasons, I think I've already revealed you too much. Right now I'm concerned about the fact that I can't have a flat surface, a flat delimitation between the water, the sea, the ocean right here, and the rest of the village on top of the terrain there. I need to have a slope, something maybe not too steep, going from the water towards the lighthouse and towards the rest. Obviously, I will not start my village from here, but I will start my village from here, from the border. So I will slide everything a little bit towards the right now. The lighthouse is working, guys. I can approach there, the LED inside, and you can see it working, fading in and fading out. Also, the building here is working, and you have light inside. Maybe it's I will switch off all the lights. It's better if I will switch off the lights, and you will see what is the effect of the flickering LED and the other LED. Oops, just placing the camera in the right position, maybe like that. Okay, let's switch off some lights. I have plenty of lights because I need to get you whatever you need. Okay, sorry guys, all switched off, and I think you can see the effect there, even if ISO is very low, but you can see the flickering lights inside and outside. Maybe I need to switch off to some better ISO, so I will switch off to some better ISO. Let's go this way, okay? Let's go this way, and you can see the flickering LEDs inside. And also, if I slide a little bit there, you can see the effect of the lighthouse. Very visible from the distance, guys, and that's what I wanted. A lighthouse very visible from the distance and from every and single one of the angles, guys. You can see from everywhere the light fading in and fading out. Okay, and that's the reason why I choose to use that system electronics connection. Okay, let's place it right where it should be. Let's switch on the lights once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And here we are again with the standard lights. And that's all. By the way, I haven't switched on the ferry wheel because you have already seen it in movement, and also you have heard the sound of the music I placed inside, but maybe I will switch it on next time. That's all, I think, for this final recap. Not too much, and Greta is there with his little companion there. He's mocking her. He's really mocking her right now, because he don't want to return the cheese, guys. I don't know if you have seen it in plain dark, but the one of the negative aspects of using plastic or polymer with some LEDs inside is that the building in plain night becomes translucent, so the lights go through the walls and through the roof. But compared to other type of polymer or plastic that are translucent even in plain day, it is best way to proceed right now. Platform I need, obviously here I will have water, but here is the calm side of the ocean. Is like if the entrance of this fjord, because I think this is a fjord, a Norwegian fjord, it is with deep water here, and here I think I will have some a fleet of boats, some different type of boats. I'm working on it right now. And then more calm water here, less deep water there, with a possible village living on top of the water. But the other buildings are strange, guys. I will show you next week one more building and so on. And I will reveal piece by piece, especially because I will need to put lights inside every single one of the buildings. and I will take note of everything is not working right now. But it is the first time I'm also proceeding with a non-regular first level, not squared or rectangular first level. Maybe you have many suggestions. I'm open to any suggestions. Also, if you hate this first part, if you hate where I am going, just tell it and I will accept it. Maybe I will do nothing. I will continue, but it's good to know if you find this not that suited for a Christmas village. But the real life will be on top of these platforms there, not the buildings themselves, but on top of all the platforms will be present the real Christmas village. And the first outro of the season, obviously. It is not too easy to decide to go all in with such an amount of 3D printed buildings, platforms, figurines, with a traditional Christmas village. It's not some sort of betrayal of Lemax or Department 56. It's just a way to not stagnate with a Christmas village. The market sometimes or many times doesn't offer what you will need or what I need to progress with my Christmas villages. I don't want to have standard Christmas village crystallized there with no possibility to expand or to be modified in some ways. Yes, Lemax every year put on the market new buildings, but the trend is to go towards strange buildings with strange forms, like bottles, like coffee grinders, like a music shop having the form of a guitar. Whew. That's good for marketing, especially if you think that 50 to 60% of the buildings are bought by young people, by our sons, by our daughters, by our children. But it's a way of going off-road with what was the initial input from Lemax, the tradition of a Christmas village, the tradition of a Victorian Christmas village. Don't forget, we must not forget that this starts from Charles Dickens, A Christmas Carol. All began from that, and so on. All began from Scrooge, the little tiny figurines of Scrooge. So if I want something that can follow the tradition but innovate also, I need to do something by myself. I need to produce buildings and figurines for myself. Otherwise, I will go towards a hybrid, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it, Christmas village. That it's too much out of the tradition. I know I haven't been traditional by any means all along this season, all along past season, and let me also check this other camera, and all along any of the season, since I decided to go my way. But nowadays 3D printers are sold like bread on the market. I have the chance to have some utilities that sellers and vendors use on Amazons, and if you go to the 3D printer categories or electronic categories, you can see the amount of search keys generated by people searching for 3D printers, and the market is fluorescent of 3D printers, and the prices are plunging down. So it is good, and it is a good addition for everyone. That's why last season I've used a lot my 3D printers. This season I will use even more the 3D printers. Without forgetting all my buildings collection, without forgetting that I must buy a new building from Lemax each season, and all the figurines from each season, from each new season from Lemax, at least the Caddington buildings, the Caddington Village buildings and figurines. I will continue that way, but you can see, maybe I'm wrong, that a 3D printer is very useful to improve, to modernize, even not getting towards the future but remaining in the past, but it's a way to modernize the design. It's a way to suit the Christmas village to what you have in mind, to what you can visualize. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment and give big thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Thank you for bearing my, once again, awful English, and see you next time for part 2. Maybe you will decide to unsubscribe for this channel. Maybe not. Bye guys.